Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you. Thank you for connecting with me. Can I mention your name? Kermit, no sound. That's two people saying no sound. All right, let's start again. Hello, everybody. Hello. I don't know if I'm bright enough. Should I be brighter? I feel a bit of a fluctuation there. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I here? Reaching out to all the people here, all the old friends, FM Ghost, Ian, Hags, Maltese Phil. I haven't called anybody fat today. I've been thinking it. I don't think I'm fat today. I think I'm good. I'm 77. But I was 77 yesterday, and I want to be 75. That's what I want to be. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to help. Is it going to help? I went to the doctor today. We can talk about that. I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital to check on my renal function. My renal function today. I don't know. I don't even know what happened. The doctor said basically take some pills. We didn't do any tests. There's no change from the last time I went to the doctor. They said just, you need to take pills. So she gave me pills. And there's something about her, I trusted her. I don't know. Her name was Jennifer. I mean, Jennifer, not like Jennifer. Her name was Jennifer. It wasn't that way. Don't be jealous of me. It wasn't that way. But she struck me as very calming, and she said, take the pills. And so I'm going to take the pills. We can go over the pills. One is called Clopidogrel. Do you know the name of this? Have you seen this before? Let's get this over there. That's number one. And we could talk about that. And then this pill, which is called doxazosine. My eyes have gotten worse in the past 3 months. They've gotten worse. Because I haven't done anything. I need to go out. You need to go out and look. In order to see the distance, you've got to practice seeing the distance. Anyway, so I went there, high blood pressure. We'll talk about that, Julian. If you know anything about these pills, doxazosine, I actually comment, of course I'm going to Google it before I'm taking it. It says AI overview, show more, side effects. Where's the side effects? It says with Doxa, it says in some this is actually not what I thought it said. It said, unlike some blood pressure drugs, such as certain diuretics and beta blockers, doxazosine has not been shown to have significant negative impact on sexual function. In some studies, men with hypertension and ED, which I do not have that problem. I'm telling you to your face, I do not have that problem. I got another problem. I don't have that problem. I'm not going to... Did I just say that too often? I don't have that. That's the one problem I don't have. But then again, at my age, the problem is there's too many beautiful women out there. When you're young, you can have that problem. Anyway, in some cases, doxazosine may worsen or cause erectile dysfunction. The exact reason for this is not fully understood, but some men may experience it as an uncommon side effect. So which one is it? A serious but very rare side effect is priapism, a prolonged and painful erection that lasts for 2 hours or 2 or more hours. This is a medical emergency that requires immediate treatment to prevent permanent tissue damage. So it says 3 different things here. It says it can cause erectile dysfunction, then it says it doesn't cause erectile. I don't know what it says. We can talk about that. Can we talk about that? I haven't been looking at the thread. Kate Gwynn, thank you, Kate Gwynn. She contributed. She bought me a cup of coffee the other day. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ian, we got somebody new here. Ian Balshin. Every day is positive day. Yes, every day. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm 68 years old. I look good for 68. I'm in the doctor. I'm telling the doctor, look at how great I look. He says, she's got high blood pressure. And we're not going to talk about the scarring of my brain. I've had high blood pressure my entire life. When the scarring took place, we don't know. They said I had 3 strokes. This is what the doctor said. This is too much information for you people, because it's going to be used against me. It says, how can we listen to him? He's had 3, but this is a while ago. Who knows when it happened? Anyway, so I see you says it's just blood pressure medication. Very common. You'll survive. I see you, and I love you. But nothing is just this, just that. You know, at one point, Thorazine was just, anybody know anything about Thorazine? Was just this. Was just this. It's never just this. These are pills. These are pills. They're pills. They're pills that'll bring my blood pressure. Maybe I'll measure my blood pressure. I mean, I measured it today. It was 147. This is in the doctor's office. 147. And I'm going to tell you something. I always say bad things about the NHS. As you know, I say bad things about the NHS. That doesn't mean that people aren't good. It doesn't mean that people aren't well-meaning. It doesn't mean that people are evil. They are good. They are good. But the whole concept, I don't know, I'm against medicine. I mean, though they've given me pills, and I'm taking the pills. I'm taking the pills. Don't mention it, Mark Thorosian. I'll take my shirt off again. Mind if I do you about retinopathy, please, Lewis? I'm in a very early stages, says MC Scott. Yeah, you could send me a message. Send me a message on Discord, if you're on Discord, or send me a message on Twitter. I'm very easy to reach, I think. I'm very easy to reach. You know what happened? I'm waiting for the bus to go to the doctor, and somebody recognized me. Lewis. Here's what Lucy says. It might have been a sleep apnea that caused that, Lewis. It damages the brain. Okay. Well, do I have sleep apnea now? I don't think I do. I don't think I do have sleep apnea. I barely had it then. The doctor actually said to me, and I know you're not going to believe this, because I'm always trying to I am the opposite of a hypochondriac. I think I'm doing better than I am. That's what do they call that? The opposite of a hypochondriac. Everybody, can you make sure you like this thing so I don't have to ask you all the time? Somebody recognized me. No, I was on my way to the hospital. A Ukrainian guy comes up to me and he's telling me that this Zelensky guy is a horrible guy, but he's a Ukrainian and he supports the Ukrainian regime. Might you be able to slurp a tilling bit more quietly? What does that? Oh, you mean from my soda here? Is that what I'm doing? I am deluded. That's a word. And Lucy, of course, remember this about this stream. Lucy is speaking entirely only to me. Only to me. So, no, on my way to the doctor. I go to King's College renal thing, and I'm there. It is crowded. It's Monday. I'm always going on a Monday. Or they're always setting up the appointment for me on a Monday. I go there on a Monday, and it's like so crowded. It's 2:00, and I think I'm going to be here all day. And then within 2 minutes, I was called, and boom, I'm off. And then speaking to the lady, why do I go there earlier? Because they want to make a good impression. They know I'm going to report back. Adam Hudson's here, and they want me to report back to America, basically. A friend of mine has been doing beetroot powder for a while for blood pressure. Apparently it's worked for him. Yeah, but it's also related to kidney dysfunction, beetroots. Maybe that's one of the reasons I have bad kidneys, is because I used to eat bowls I used to buy beets. I used to cook them, but a lot of times I used to eat them raw. Red beets. I don't know what they're called in this country. We call them beets. Here they're called, I think, beetroots, because people eat the green stuff. I believe I'm the opposite of a hypochondriac, in denial in denial of maybe anything wrong. Yes, I go to the doctor, and the doctor says, you're going to die, and I go, I don't see it. But today I actually saw it. I actually, this doctor, a woman doctor, she was old. I don't want to say, you don't want to say how old, she was an older woman, beautiful. Anyway, Anosognosis is a condition which a person with a disability is completely cognitive, unaware of having it due to underlying physical condition. So they're mental, is that what you're saying? Like they don't know that they're fat. You're fat, I'm not fat. I'm not going to say who I knew was like that, but that's possible. Beetroot is horrible and should be banned, says Kate Gwynn. Is that true? I won't eat beetroot, and I loved it. It was one of those foods because it has like no calories. I used to go down to Peckham, and they have the bowls. Those places. They used to have lots of places like that. They're owned by one guy, I think. Huge bowls of beetroots. And I would buy bowls of beetroots. It had maybe 1 kilo or 2 kilos of beetroots. I just eat it in a wonder. It's good in a burger, a slice of beetroot. It's cucumber that should be crime, actually. Well, cucumber. I mean, all these fruits, they got minimal amount of sugar. Beetroot has a larger amount of sugar. They don't taste that good. They're basically, let me tell you what it is. It's basically an oil delivery system. And basically, oil is not that great, but the balsamic vinegars that they put on it. You ate them raw, Lewis. Big mistake. Yes, I did. I ate them raw, Lucy. And that was, but people eat beetroots raw. Everyone's eating. My friend Russ, I'm going to mention him, but people eat beetroots raw. So I say to you, I am not eating beetroots. So what is our decision regarding clopidogrel? Anything in specific? It was just a mask, just a jab. That's what Adam Hudson says. They're always saying, it's a nothing, it's a big going. We've been giving these pills out for literally days, and nothing has happened. No, high blood pressure. Did you see GB News yesterday? Laugh. And that could raise my high blood pressure. So I'm going to do research on this doxycycline, unless you guys want to add something about it. Okay, I've skipped a lot of the people reading this thing. I've read all your comments for 120 days. I've read them all, and I'm falling behind already. I got a call today regarding what happened yesterday. It's a good point. It was very stressful yesterday. Because I've had 3 strokes. Maybe that's what makes me an idiot, possibly. I've got 3 points of damage on my brain. I didn't know that I had a stroke. But the thing said I had a stroke. I had a CT scan or an MRI scan. I don't even know what the difference between those two things are. I'm not saying I used to be smart. I'm not saying that. But I do remember that I had high blood pressure for many, 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 many years. Many years, of which I was medicated for those years. Okay? And GB News called me today because they listened to the show, our show, that you're on here. They might be listening right now. Common side effects includes easy bruising, headache, nausea, heartburn. Serious side effects may involve increased risk of bleeding. Okay. So maybe you, Jarrett, knows anything about this pill, which I've been recommended to take. Can you see it? Clopidogrel. That sounds like a horrible name, Doggerel. Anyway, and a doxycycline. So maybe you, Jarrett. He's here. Welcome you. I got a call from Mick. FM Ghost, and Mick is the vice president in charge of everything, I guess. I don't know. It's one of these organizations that has people who are supposedly something, but how they're related to what I'm doing here, I don't know, and they're all trying to be so nice, I don't know. Anyway, And he asked me whether everything was all right. Like, I should have asked him whether you guys were all right with me. Instead, I said, I want to apologize to you for you. I'm always apologizing because I don't feel what I'm doing is the right thing. Ron Smith is here. Anyway, welcome, Ron Smith. Vatnai is here. And he asked me, was I doing all right? Because I mentioned last night on the early show. Why wouldn't I want to tell you this, Keith? I mean, he's my boss. I mean, that's my problem. I want to tell everybody everything. That's my job, is to tell everybody everything. And that's why I am one of the better comedians. I'm not going to say I'm the best comedian. I remember watching, what's his name? Richard Pryor doing a bit. The stroke was possibly a long time ago. I don't know. They don't know when it was because it could have been years ago. Hi, Lewis. You probably need to be much more sick for me to know anything about it. Sorry. You should be relieved. I don't know much about it, is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm relieved. Anyway, I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to tell people I've had 3 strokes in the past, because I just found out about that just a couple of months ago, that there was some scarring of the brain. Kermit says, doxazosin, dizziness and lightheadedness, swelling in the feet or ankles, headaches, abdominal pain, side effects may include low blood pressure, well, it's supposed to, irregular heartbeat, and painful erections. You know, it's very scary. The point is, the 2 bits of information I should not be talking about is, one is these 3 strokes, because I had an MRI. They're like dead parts of the brain. Number 1. But maybe I should have had these tests done years ago. Okay? You know, if you'd actually had a stroke, Lewis, those were TIAs. And the doctors called them strokes. She said, Judels, thank you for saying this, but she said that my trip to the hospital, at my son's bequest, because I'm not, my son wants me to go to the hospital. Okay, go to the hospital. That's the producer's son. She said that wasn't a stroke, that was a TIA. And she said, well, what's the difference between a TIA and a stroke? Well, a TIA, there's a bleed, but there's no damage. Well, what does that mean, no damage? If there's no damage, it's like you've been shot, but there's no hole. That's what I think it meant. A lot of the time, people don't get any of the side effects of any medication, says Claire C. Yes, I feel for you, Kate Quinn. You need to take remedial action to avoid a worse one in the future. Well, Kate Quinn, thank you very much. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that they've got the answers. It's the hospitals, doctors, they don't have all the answers. And every one of these answers, this is going to give me, make my penis not work. Is this one going to, I don't even know what these things are going to do. A stroke is caused from stress a lot of the time. Yeah, could do that. Or it's caused from carbs. And I've been on a relatively high carb diet. I know I'm preaching carbs, but I'm a liar. I don't take as many, I take too many carbs, I think. And I see you, says other people, like I see you, says stay away from doctors, which I agree. We got over 40 people watching. That's so good. So maybe this is all, I don't know how long this is going to last. Lewis, we cannot control anything on our bodies. What do you think? You don't think I'm considering it? I thank you, Kate, but I'm considering this. I am considering this. I'm considering, of course I am. I hear that Oreos, this is what Don Aylesbury, welcome Don. Don Aylesbury can call, that Oreos, it's Oreo sandwiches. They probably can. It's ice cream and Cookies, it's carbs. Yes, they can. I'm trying my best to cut back on the carbs. I'm trying my best to take the pills that they give me. Okay? Anyway, The Onion did a brilliant book on placebo, the pill given to you by a doctor. It will work. Yes, a placebo will work because you believe in a doctor. But what happens if you don't believe in a doctor? That's the question. What happens if you don't believe? You, Jared. If you don't believe in the doctor, even a pill that works may not have an effect. My doctor rang me today, the leg situation. Remember, Joe has a leg thing, and the blood test stuff, all very chilled. Should be okay with that or concerned. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. What does it mean? Tell us the results. And I see health is big business. Yeah, I don't believe in doctors massively when it comes to health. Yeah. And if you don't believe in doctors when it comes to health, what good are they? I mean, they basically, you need the doctors to get the pills. And I get free pills. So somebody's making money on that because they're giving the pills out for free. So that means they have to buy them. And they're definitely paying money for the pills. So this is the question. All right. So my question is, I don't know, did we answer the question? The pills, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. If anybody would like to come over and test the side effect of the pills with me to see whether they have an interesting side effect, either positive or negative, you could... Oh, back to being dirty, Lewis. I'm so dirty. I'm so absolutely dirty. Now I've lost. What were we talking about? What were we talking about, Lewis? It was kind of. I'm stuck with it unless it gets worse. I'm okay then. Yeah. Thank you, Claire. Claire's going to come over and test them out with Lewis Schaffer. I mean, that's scary, Joe. I'm 68 years old, and I'm told I've had 3 strokes. But when these strokes happen, we do not know when they've happened. We don't know when they've happened. Anyway, the medical industry is great for operations and putting you back together after an accident, but not when it comes to health. Mark Therosian, can I just say this? I totally agree with you. This is what we should know. They're good for breaking stuff. If you've broken stuff, if you need your arm reattached, it's definitely great. I'm not sure about the future. I'm not sure if it can prevent anything. Lewis, this is his Jedster coming in. Lewis, what are your thoughts on your fans dumping their jugs out on Discord? Do you support their right of freedom of expression, or are you against this type of degeneracy? I don't know who did that, and we don't know whether just because... I don't know. You can't blame somebody for that until we have proof. I don't know. I mean, am I against people showing their physical bodies on Discord? I am not against it, no. I'm not against it. Should I be against it? What did Ron Smith say? So Ron Smith is new with us. As a bodybuilder, I need some carbs. I just keep it under 150 grams a day. Which is considered relatively low carbs. But they found out that you don't need the carbs. The carbs help you, I don't know, they make you fat. Shouldn't you have low carbs? I'm against bodybuilding. All the bodybuilders, a lot of them die young. Very few of them die at 90 years old, I think. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because everyone started bodybuilding late. I agree with Ron Smith. But I would say I also have some great workout when just on fat and protein. Yes. Well, meat is fat and protein. Yeah. I don't do any exercises. I should. Do you want to see my moves on Discord, Maltese Phil? I'd like that. You could show me, all the guys could show me their naked body, and the women too. I don't care. Am I wrong? Is this a sign that I've had 3 strokes that I don't care? I don't care. Daz is here. Is this a new Daz? This is Daz 7511. You can bodybuild without drugs, as you should. You can't really, because the people who are bodybuilding today, they're being judged on a drugged body. And I mean, I watched a lot of videos of that guy. We can talk about bodybuilding, of that guy. I forget who the guy's name is, but he's bodybuilding. Around 20 years ago at my gym, a guy, am I collecting bodybuilders here? This is Adam Hudson, which is always good to see Adam because he's got one of my favorite names, as you know that. At my gym, a guy was found dead in the sauna. He was a bodybuilder, and I guess his heart gave out. Yes. Well, first of all, saunas are really dangerous, being that hot. Daz. No, this is the old Daz. I don't know why my name has changed. I never changed it. So how is that related to Daz 7511? Is it the same Daz? It's just a different name. Vatanai is here. We had a patient in 111. She was prone to clots. Remember, Vatanai hangs out with a lot of doctors. Prone to clots. A nurse at the hospital told her to stop taking the pill, and then you won't need the blood thinners. She stopped the meds and had a lung clot and nearly died. Well, that doesn't, you could blame a nurse for that, but maybe it had nothing to do with the nurse. Maybe it was just a coinky-dink, as we used to call it. Vatanai. What do you think? Could be a coinky-dink. Charles Atlas. Well, he was one of the first bodybuilders. Well, did he die? The other guy died. Who's the other guy who was a bodybuilder in America? And he died at like 95 years old. Very strong guy. Strength is really important, especially as you get older, I think. Imagine stumbling across a body whilst at the gym. Yikes. Crime scene head. Come on. Crime scene headed. Come on. Haha. How about punctuation, MC Scott? Ron Smith says, remember that French bodybuilder who ate only horse meat, Serge Nubret. That's not a joke. I don't think it's a joke. It's a joke. Well, horse meat's good for you, basically. I think it's probably good for you. Didn't we discuss this the other day? You weren't here. We actually discussed horse meat. It's not bad for you. I would probably have been a body snatcher. That's medical progress for you, Jarrett says. I don't understand that there. Yeah. Might have been coinky-dink that my mom got a clot after the AstraZeneca, then another on her lung this year. I mean, it could be. Yeah, that's probably not. I mean, that's the problem with injections. They're really super bad for you. They're worse than pills injection because they go right into your bloodstream. Keith Bexley says bodybuilders vain, or is that me? Can you see my vein? I always wanted veins. I'm getting an old man's. I don't have really an old man. I want to post nude pictures of myself up. Not that I look great, but thinness makes people look good. Saunas are as good for you as long as you jump in the ice bath afterward. I don't think it is. I think it's a form of stressing out of your body, Donna Aylesbury. Cold is worse than hot, I would say. Cold is worse than hot. Let's see. I think Burke and Hare actually created bodies rather than just snatching them. Well, they're famous in this country. In America, no one's ever heard of them. But in this country, you're famous for the horrible, horrible people who mistreated other people. Because maybe it was so rare. You're famous for the PDFs people. I call sauna health. I studied Mark Therosian. And what did you learn about sauna health at university? I thought they stole them. I sat here, Kermit says, waiting for the effing thing, Ruben. He's on delivery, 74. And I'm number 123. What are you doing? I don't know what that means. Anyway, so let me go back on track. That's number 2. So we've covered the number 2. I've got new pills to take. If you know anything about the pills, tell me about the pills. I like my doctor. I like a lot of the doctors. I don't believe, they wanted to put me on a statin, which may actually be to lower my cholesterol. But we didn't discuss my high protein diet. She did not even mention it. So that's very interesting. We'll find out later what my creatinine level is. So that's really good. So we've got that. We've got that. I said that people are good at the NHS. Today has been a brilliant day for Donald Trump. Donald Trump, my son, the director, he messages me and he's like so happy with Donald Trump. Will this bring peace? Will this bring peace? Okay. Will it bring peace? And the point is, do you still want to discuss health issues, Vatanai Music? I mean, we could discuss health issues all day. I could discuss it. I could discuss health issues all day. Maltese Phil. We'll talk about more health issues later on. Okay? Health issues later. We'll discuss it later. And then we've got an hour at 10:30. So we're doing really well. We're doing really well. An hour at 10:30. We're up to 46 watching this show. How amazing is that? How amazing. Maybe it's because I called the guy fat. Maybe because I called the guy fat. So Claire says Donald Trump is king. He is king. Donald Trump is king. Is it going to stop the situation there in Gaza? No, because Gaza's, remember, you become like your neighbor. And this is, who said this first? I think said it first. I think Netanyahu said it first. He said, you have to remember who the Jews in Israel's neighbors are. They're in a tough neighborhood. The Muslims actually believe that you can convert someone to a religion by force. And we, as Western people, don't believe that. We think you have to actually believe it. You have to actually believe it. We're gonna talk about saunas, Mark Thoreau in a bit. They actually believe that. So they believe that the Jews got their state because they were massacred. And so the Gazans, and I'm going to say this, and I think you're going to find it offensive, but the Gazans actually they don't mind being massacred. They don't mind their houses being destroyed. Okay? And that's a bad thing, because it means they're not going to stop. It took them 2 years, 2 whole years to release the prisoners. And now they've won because they're still in power. I mean, a lot of them are dead, but the ones who are in power are thinking, wow, this is great. I've moved up the hierarchy line. Okay? The hierarchy line. And now they're in charge. And Hamas is still there. Even though a lot of the Muslims don't like Hamas, they still like the idea, what Hamas stands for, which is a lot of them don't like the Jews. I don't like the Jews, but they don't like the Jews. And Hamas is still there. And Hamas will get all of the Gaza Strip. And then I was even seeing today, they're talking about, buying the Sinai from the Egyptians and giving it to the Gazans. I mean, and anyway, it's all temporary. Like, you take a look at Germany. Germany was once a huge country, and then they lost all that land to Poland, and all the Germans had to move into Germany. And the Germans haven't forgotten that. They haven't forgotten that, where that is. So what do you think should be done, anybody, about Gaza? I don't know, but people are saying there's peace, there's peace. There's no peace. People hate, there's no peace. Okay? So, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good because why did Israel do what it did to Gaza? Because I didn't see the vid. What vid? I didn't see the vid. Joodles. What was the vid? Oh, now I got to look for the vid. I've got to look for the vid. Okay, hold on a second. Let me look for the vid. Let me look for the vid. I can't stop a show and look for the vid. When did you send the vid? That's a vid. No. What, did you send it yesterday? Nice. No. What is the vid? What is the vid? I don't even know what the vid is. Joodles. Was it good for us that we should watch it? Good. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's so funny how other Muslim countries won't take the Palestinians, but we have people with ancestry in those countries marching Free Palestine, marching with Free Palestine marches. Yeah, they want a Free Palestine, but don't let them come here. Yeah, they don't want them. I mean, they've been traumatized. And so you have to remember that Gaza is basically using the Jewish playbook to win Gaza. They're saying, we're being genocided. We are the victims. We are bad people. What did I do? I'm sorry, I missed it here. How did you know I'm not going all messages? I'm not going all, okay, I'm going all messages now. It's more than that. Muslims don't want to convert us. They want to dominate us. If you convert a European or a Jew to Islam, they will not treat you well. Yes, but it's a step in the right direction. It's a step in their right direction. I mean, they're saying we're going to convert you, and then they're going to take us over. Never been peace, ever. Romans, Saxons, Normans, Picts. Joe is talking. Angles, etc. Very tough to achieve it. They're not going to give up. It's like the Hobbit. The Palestinians went to Jordan, started a civil war. Next, they tried Egypt, started a war. Then moved to Lebanon, where they started a war. Yeah. I mean, you can see it. These are strong people. Respect to them. Respect for them. But if you think that there's going to be peace in Israel because of this, there isn't going to be. Basically, there's just a pause for Israel. Israel should have just said, I think, I read, and is this true? Have you heard this? Have you heard that they killed all of the women hostages and only sent the men back? This is what I heard. I don't know whether that's true or not. Who knows? Maybe it is true. I'm not winning any friends right with this stuff. I want to apologize to you people. I'm not winning any friends. But it's a difficult subject. What do you do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I mean, but the way Trump handled it, which will make him one of the best presidents in the history. And remember, people didn't like Abraham Lincoln either. We got 51 people watching this Fakakta stream. 51 people. 51. So that's my news. What do you think about that? I say he organized it. What did Trump do to organize it? Okay? No, he wasn't. He wasn't cross with me. Mick wasn't cross with me. He actually sounded concerned. But, I mean, maybe, I don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what people are thinking. But what happened with Mick at GB News is I apologize for calling the guy fat. But if you would just like every single thing that I'm ever saying, if you just listen, thank you, Rod Smith. If you just listen to what I have to say, it's probably not as bad as it sounds initially. It's probably not as bad, and you could change my mind. And I'm like my father used to say stuff, and then you'd argue with him. And if you were right, I'd give in. I would give in, and that's what happened. I call the guy fat, but suddenly it's like, well, what do you mean by that? What does this have to do with the discussion, Lou? Yeah, I've got Asperger's. Perhaps it's true. It's just we're having a discussion. It's like with you people, is that you say something, and you say, let me finish, Lewis. I go, okay, finish. And that's what we need to do. But within a second, an apology is made for me calling the guy fat, and the guy was he was fat, and he was a piece of, he's calling the Jews genociders, when the truth is that Gazans have doubled their population. They've gone up 2% in a year. That this whole thing about killing 67,000 children is a lie, or 60, whatever the number is. Who puts out that you just have to be patient with Lewis Schaffer? You have to be patient to say, what are you actually thinking, Lewis? You know what I mean? You see, people are thinking you hate the Muslims. You don't hate, you know what I mean? Or maybe you need to say it. Local in Northampton. Have you been here before? Folks dislike Tommy Robinson, but they are wrong. It goes to show, yes, we need to listen to people more local. Thank you for joining us. Could you do us a favor? Can you subscribe? Ron Smith, can you subscribe? Can you give us a thumbs up on YouTube? Can you do that? Can you give us a thumb? Why am I always itching my head when I'm on the TV? In real life, I don't do it. Maybe because I don't wash my hair. But that's why I'm really upset that suddenly they're apologizing for me. Apologizing. Yeah, Diane Abbott got the figures from the Ministry of whatever, the Health. What does that mean? The Ministry of Gaza Ministry of Health, run by Hamas. You know, that's ridiculous that we're listening to these people. And then we're going to talk about Grok lying to me. You could have pointed all that out, Lewis, if you hadn't called him fat instead. Yeah, but the point is, let me tell you what I was thinking, Lucy. I was thinking that he's saying the most horrible things about Israel, which is another way of saying horrible things about Jews. He's saying the Jews are exterminating these people. That's a horrible lie, and it's not true. That Israel has been the most conscientious, honestly, maybe too conscientious. All those people were told to move before we destroyed their buildings, while we were looking for those people who were buried underneath them. I mean, what could you do? What can you do when they've got your... Anyway, something mental is happening to the stream, Kermit. Names or weird messages aren't showing. Can you check it? Yes, I was going to ask Kermit to do that. Is that right? It's weird because Kate Gwynn has a new name. So can you do me a favor, everybody? Can we go over? Can we do the thumbs up? Can we do the thumbs up? Can we press subscribe? Can we make sure that we've, do whatever we need to do? 23 people have liked this thing. That's 50% of the people who are watching it. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I've got to stop scratching my head. God forgive the shoe ends on the other foot. We'd all be dog food. What does that mean? Sorry for misunderstanding. If you created any... Okay. It's not cricket to open with what you did, Lewis. But you're right. And a trailblazer. It's not cricket. I mean, it's not cricket. But you know me. I've had 3 strokes. I'm obsessed. I shouldn't mention that again. I don't feel like I feel like I'm a bit dumber than I was, but I don't think that I'm that much dumber. And even Even years ago, I felt I was like dumb. I was stupid, and no one should listen to me. You know, I feel I don't feel like I'm smart enough to be in charge of anything. Anyway, the point I was going to make is that we can't listen. And he's a bully himself. Of course he's a bully. He says, I'm not going to be on this show if he says that to me. Instead of laughing or going, he calls me fat. What does that have to do with it? That's so typical of you people, that you're willing to call me fat to win an argument, which shows that's what he could have said. Because that's what but they're liars. He's a liar and I don't care what anybody says. There's no genocide going up. The population of Muslims are growing. Anyway, whatever. In fact, they only would dare to call him fat on live TV. In fact, that that I'm the only one. That's why everyone here loves Lewis Schaffer. Thanks you, Jedster, because I want to speak the truth. I want to speak the truth for the people who want to hear the truth. Or not even, whether you want to hear it or not, you got to hear it. The truth is we're fighting for England. And England and Israel are alike. We're countries that need to be defended against. And Israel is doing something that Britain and England and the Angles and the Saxons and the Jutes are not doing. It's fighting for itself. So Gesundheit, whatever they say, good for Israel. You know, I don't support the idea of fighting for a quote unquote Jewish state. I'm not that way, but we have a Jewish state, and they want to kill the Jews. They want this country to be part of a Muslim caliphate. Do you want that? This is your country. Anyway, what does YH mean? He was whining that Trump didn't do it quickly or enough. Biden could have done it. What is this? You mentioned that when launching the Muslim Impact. Yes, they mentioned that. Yeah, okay, I've lost my train of thought. Would I do Giorgio Meloni? As I've said, FM Ghost, and you have to remember, you were young, I'm old. If somebody likes me enough, and it meant something to them. My friend Dan Natterman, and I've said this many times, he has a joke. He says to a girl, would it kill you to do me? But he uses the F word. Would it kill you to fuck me? Would it kill you? You say to a girl, if Giorgio Meloni wanted me badly enough, I would do her. I would do that Layden, whatever the woman is. I would do anybody. If they wanted me enough, if they were fans enough of Lewis Schaffer, I wouldn't be disgusted by it, because we want to be liked. I'm like a woman that way. You know, women want to be loved. Now Blackadder's screen name has changed to his @ name. Where's Blackadder? And I see Blackadder here. Anytime, anyway, Maloney's a sweetheart. Yeah, if she liked me, if she says, Lewis, I've been listening to your chat. I love you. I'll meet you in London at the hotel. Yes, I'll go do it. Yes, I would hurt some other girl's feelings. Yes. Keith Bexley says she's stupendo. Yeah. She's a gem, says MC Scott. Enjoy her visit. Yes. I mean, what does that make me? Am I a horrible person because of this? Maybe I'm damaged. I'm emotionally damaged. I would do her, not Lawrence Fox. Well, what would Lawrence Fox then say? You know, what would he say? Did he say he wouldn't do it? She talked of CBT, the one, but the last time she was on, something that has helped me tremendously. She talked of CBT. That's that thing. I think I've bought CBT. Lewis, do you take Viagra now? I am not going to admit to that, no. FM Ghost, remember, you're young. You don't need to. 49 people. We had 50 before. Somebody could write an article. Lewis Schaffer's stream is plummeting. People aren't watching it because it's gone from 51 to 49. That's a lot. We're moving up. And this stream, at some point in the future, we could have, we're moving upwards. Very, very cognitive behavior therapy. Oh, yes. Maybe I could use that. Yeah, that's interesting. CBT. Yeah, no. The doctor recommended that there's counseling for me. And I said, no, thank you. Maybe I should have. Go to Discord, Kermit. Thank you very much. See, yes, thank you, Joodles. I was just getting into you, Lewis, but work calls. Yes, yes, yes. The answer to that question is yes. Buy the stream a cup of coffee. That's right, Kofi. That is so great of you to do that. Live stream, people have to eat sometimes. Yeah, laugh out loud. Okay, and now I'm all over the place. Let's answer one question at a time. Would I do Giorgio Maloney? If she came up to me and said, Lewis, I see your stream. I see your stream. You know, I've just broken up with my husband. I'm broken up with my husband a few years ago. And could you come over? And I would go, yes, yes. Steve Cuff has a different name here. So that's the answer to that question. And the truth is, let's say you came up to me and you're a guy and you said the exact same thing. I probably maybe wouldn't do you in the same way. I might give you a hug and a kiss. I might kiss your head and your face. I might tell you to lose some weight and then come ask me again. And I would say yes. So the answer is yes. Yes, and I think we should all do that with people. Would it kill you to do me? Georgia Maloney, who said that. She is an Irish girl. That's number one. Number two, why do we need CBT? Do I need CBT to calm down? I might. I might calm down with CBT. What do you think? Do you think that works? CBT. Can you press the like button before I do you? Yes, yes. Can you give the stream a contribution? Say, Lewis, I don't have much money, but I gave you a contribution. Compulsory bike training, says Maltese Phil. Yeah, basically, yeah. You and I will stop at face kissing and hugs. Boundaries and stuff, you know. That's funny. MC Scott. Yeah, but whatever. But maybe you're gay and maybe you find me attractive. That's where I'm like a girl. I want to be found attractive. Don't you girls want to be found? Gnome Hunter 1488. Thank you for joining us. Who is Gnome Hunter normally? That's a name change. But I'm like a girl. I know how women are. You have to, just generally speaking, they'll do somebody that doesn't. Women want to be liked. They want to be loved. So, they don't want to be loved too much. They want to love you too. I ain't gonna bum you. Okay. Anyway, you never know. Shouldn't Joe, considering my thesis on? Oh, you're talking to Blackadder. Something has been a bit odd today. Trouble switching between Facebook accounts. Perhaps we are being targeted by the security services. Do you know what's really scary, Vatanai? I think that all the time. There's a problem with this screen, with Streamware, whatever. I think they're coming to get me. I have to keep the door locked. They're coming to. Maybe I'm being paranoid. What was the other question? Didn't we have another question that you wanted answers? Do you remember what the other thing we were talking about? My left ear is having a bit of a problem too. I caught the left ear problem. We had 60 the other day, says Mark DeRosian. Yeah, that was amazing. It's like the fact that we've done this 125 times just for this stream, another 5 streams or 6 streams for the other streams. Okay, so I think is amazing. And I've enjoyed it. Streaky Bacon. Soon it will be the Greater Israel Project. you know what? Maybe it needs to be the Greater Israel Project. Oh, that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss. I'm trying to make this thing more informative to the people. Can you all press the thumbs up thing? Can you press the thumbs up thing and let us know what's happening? People come and they go on the stream. Of course they do. They got other things they got to do. 27. Press the thumbs up. But remember that Israel is fighting for its life. Okay? Fighting for its life. And what Israel's doing is there were countries that were helping the Gazans to bomb Israel. Tens of thousands of rockets. Imagine living in a country. There was tens of thousands of rockets even before October 7th. And they were really badly made rockets, but they were killing people. And they were landing in Israel. And so Israel needed to stop it. And they couldn't stop it with targeted bombing. They had to basically destroy the entire place. And by destroying the entire place, they were sending a message to their enemies. Okay? Ron Smith has changed his user ID thing. It's pretty hot in the flat, Ron Smith. It is. I mean, is it hot? Where is the thing? It's 25 degrees, so it's 2 degrees, 1 degree colder than yesterday. Anyway. So they were sending a message to other countries. Now, it's quite possible, I'm going to say this, and don't think I mean this in a bad way, but some countries are willing to fight to the death. Do you remember the Monty Python thing? Where the Monty Python thing said the guy's cutting his arms off, and he's still fighting, cuts his legs off, and he's still fighting. What is that skit? In Life of Brian? Was that the skit? Was it Life of Brian? Where he's cutting his legs off. Who knows this? I'm pretty sure Judels knows this. And he basically keeps on saying, "Come after me." And the guy's saying, "I don't want to kill you. Just cut it, just go away." Who says this? Who said this? What film was this? The Black Knight. Who said this? Joe says The Black Knight. The Dark Knight. Blair has been making... What is the name of that movie? Can you help me out with the name of the movie? What is the name of the movie? What is the name of the movie? I'm like upset. What is the name of the movie? The Holy Grail. That's right. The Holy Grail, not The Life of Brian, the Holy Grail. And he got his arms chopped off, but he keeps on fighting. He keeps on fighting because he is going to go to heaven, perhaps. He's going to go to heaven. And so you think you're being cruel to them, but it's not as cruel as you think. Whereas maybe the Iranians care about Tehran. Maybe the Iranians care about Islam, whatever the country is. Maybe the Pakistanis care about their country. And Israel is sending a message to their countries saying, we don't care what the world thinks. We'll destroy every building if we have to. And that could happen to your country if you keep on going. And I think that's actually brilliant. That's really, really brilliant. I mean, don't take that out of context, but that's what they're thinking of doing. You've got to beat the enemy the way you want to beat the enemy. I'd be upset if you came in and destroyed my stuff, because I'm a stuff-oriented person. Okay. When I was teaching history, it was a shock, mainly to the girls, to discover how young some girls were when they were married. Yes, it was a shock, because we live in a different culture, and we want people treated. You say, oh, if you destroyed my house, that would make me stop. But it doesn't make some people stop. Blackadder, he's part of the New World Order Club. Who is? Who's part of the New World Order? They don't say NI anymore. They changed it. Who is Gnome Hunter? What is your real name? I forgot what that is. Blair is desperate for digital ID because of Agenda 2030. I mean, how is this guy still around? How is he still around? Joe, here's Joe now. She's called Z51. I bet wasn't Juliet 12 when she fell in love? Yeah, people were young, different countries. These are the questions that we have to ask. Okay. Women never married that young in Northwest Europe. Well, a lot of times they married young because they died early, maybe, and they needed to get it done. And you don't want, I mean, what's the whole purpose? What's the whole purpose? The whole purpose of women, not women, I got to be careful here, should be in prison for a whole life term, Donna Aylesbury. Anyway. All right, can I take a deep breath? Can I make myself a cup of tea? Can you talk amongst yourselves while we talk about the age people got married? Okay. There you go. I'm making a cup of tea. Does anybody want a cup of tea? No one? Okay. All right. Well, I'll be back in a minute. I'm making myself a cup of tea. You can do me a favor. You can go on Lewis Schaffer Twitter, and you can do the thumbs up. You can get the Discord number. You can go to Patreon or PayPal or Ko-fi, KOFI.com/Lewis Schaffer. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, so maybe these are, people's names. Why aren't they just coming up? They're coming up as your, whatchamacallit, YouTube profile. Okay. Okay. Do you want to talk about the age of consent? I don't know anything about this thing. I don't know anything about the age of consent. Maybe I should ask. I wouldn't ask Grok, because Grok will actually lie to you. Actually lie to you. And then admit that they've lied and said that the newspapers that I've given you are not real. I mean, they weren't, like, there was an article about me in the Telegraph. No, there has been, but there's no article about me calling that guy fat. Okay? There's nothing like that. I mean, you want to talk about women having sex at a very I don't think it's appropriate for me to be discussing that. And I know. So Grok Keith Bexley is now, it's everybody's full names. Full names. I don't know who these people are because they're not the same. A lot of them are not the same names. Who is local in Northampton again? Can you tell me who it is? It's inappropriate. Yeah, it's not for me to discuss. But the point is, people got married for different reasons. They got married because they wanted to have sex. And they got married because they wanted to have children, and they were forced to get married. I don't know if they were forced to get married, but they wanted to leave the home, and the only way to leave the home was to get married. Fat Man on the Beach has contacted Hope Not Hate to wreck your channel. Yeah, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. I can't even read that out because on the bottom it'll say that I mentioned it. Because it's listening to everything that I've said. It's listening to every single stream. I'll be using my other next time I tune in. Will DM Lewis, as previously said, and then it'll all be cleary. So sorry. I don't know what that means. I'm going to put my glasses on I shouldn't. I don't believe in glasses. Lots of dynastic matches were made very young, according to Vat and I. Very young. But I think if a girl was at Menarche, how do you pronounce that? They were considered old enough. Unmarried, fertile girls were seen as a moral risk. Also, it was a threat to themselves because they wanted to have sex, as most people do. They want to have sex. They got the hormones flying, and who knows who they'll have sex with. And once they have sex, then their value goes down, I think. Don't you agree? I'm not saying their value goes down, not in my eyes, but a man wants to make sure that the kids are his. It's a mother's baby, a daddy's maybe, according to what I was told many years ago. So that's this. Okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm taking a break on the air here. Us women, says Joe, have always been trashed and second class. I'm serious about this, really. That's not true. That's totally not true. So I had to pick up the medicine. I got the medicine. And I'm waiting at the pharmacy, and there was a pretty girl. I don't know how old she was, in her 20s. She looked like an athlete. And she was on crutches. She couldn't walk. And she dropped her water bottle. And a man bent down to pick it up. And then another man offered to take her prescription up this flight of stairs to get the prescription filled. And then, this is what happens. So don't say that women are mistreated. Women, they don't have to go to war. They're precious. Women are precious. They're precious, and they're considered more whatever. How many, Lewis? What do you mean? It's not true. Do not get me started. I'm talking about the past. Even in the past, they never killed women. Women didn't have to go to war. There were certain things that women had to do, but same thing with men. Oh my God, I've got a hair on my back. No, so Joe, I disagree. We don't have to discuss that because people won't like me. They won't like me because I don't think, is it hard being a woman? Yes, it is hard. They never killed women. Barely killed. No, they never did. Occasionally you read the stories about it. But, women did not have to go to war. There weren't thousands of men lined up. So few men actually were allowed or actually were able to have children, to have their own genetic line passed on. But most women were. Women were the spoils of war. Yeah, that's bad that they were treated badly, but they were taken home. It's like, look what happened in Israel. The Israeli Jewish women were captured and taken back, and they were told, you could have them. Women have always been murdered by men, forever and ever. Barely. Barely. Like I just heard yesterday how many women were killed by men. What was this discussed on the show? How many women were killed? It was like one every 2 weeks. How many men are killed? Well, Google that. It's not that I'd lie to you. Yeah. Choodles. You are quite right. Lewis is a bit nuts about this sort of thing. I am a bit nuts. That's why I'm not allowed to discuss it. Something wrong with the chat. It's a bit hit and miss. ICU has had it changed to ICU-2.27. I mean, I'm seeing you. Try a refresh. Try a refresh, ICU. I guess try a refresh. Press the buttons. I mean, it's not good. So that's what was the other thing I wanted to discuss? I made a list of things that I got called. Maybe they do care about me. I mean, I care about GB News. Maybe they're afraid that I'll ask for an apology from somebody. I think, that I'm going to ask for an apology for them giving an apology for me. I don't know. I'm not going to do that, but maybe I will. I don't know. My tea is cold. How do you drink tea? That's the way my tea looks. 1 teaspoon of sugar. I used to have milk, but milk has actually more sugar than 1 teaspoon of sugar. Or maybe it doesn't. I think it has maybe a little bit less. I agree, Noam. But to say women don't suffer at the hands of men, I didn't say that. Who said that? Women are killed by men. And women are killed by other women, but women are killed by men. That's just the way it is, even now, forever. But they're also treated a lot better in many ways than men. They're treated a lot better. Thanks, guys. I'm going now. I don't want to be argumentative. Yeah, you can go. You can be like that guy and just go. Or we can change the subject. Women are treated better than men. I'm sorry if you think it's not true, but it is not true. It's not true. Women want to be taken care of by men. And once upon a time, men used to pay for women. And women used to stay home. And then before that, men had to go out hunting and get killed and all that. Milk has less. If you have a full-fat milk, it lowers the sugar absorption in the body, hence why you should always go full-fat. I agree with that, Mark, and I agree with that. Okay? I always go full-fat. I go full-fat. All right, let's try to save this show. I don't like when people leave because they disagree with something that I said. I want to be able to say what I want to say. You could say, Lewis, I don't agree with you. And, I mean, I never say to you, well, get out. You can't be in my chat because you're disagreeing with me. And women pay for men, too, nowadays. They do. They're more generous. You're not, yes. Yeah, like that guy. You're not going to go now, laugh out loud. Don't go. It's hard for me when you go. I don't like it when you go. I always have full-fat milk, Jersey milk, yes, Carrie. I used to have that too. I'd like to have raw milk, but I have to go all the way down into Borough, at the Borough Market to buy the raw milk. And then I bought 2 bottles of raw milk, and I drank them both in a winter. And that's a bit too much. Milk is good for getting fat. I think Latin America is at the top, but when I read that a couple of years ago, Greece overtook Brazil on sex per capita or something similar. I mean, you take a look. Are people having a lot of sex here? No, I don't think that they are. They're not having sex. People in marriage were having a lot more sex when there was no free-range people running around having, where women are looking over their husbands' shoulders trying to have sex. Lewis believes that too many ills of the world are blamed on toxic masculinity. I would say that's true, that toxic masculinity. But he expresses it without nuance. I'm sure he doesn't want harms to occur to decent people. Yes, there is masculinity that kills people, and there is toxic masculinity. But every time something happens, every time a man does something manly, like stop a girl on the street and say, wow, you're really pretty, That's toxic masculinity. A recent government poll found that 27% of Britons have sex every week. Does that mean that 73% don't have sex at least once a week? That's horrific. That's so low. Oh, wait, that's me. Yeah, it could be considered low. So there you go. Adam Hudson is now Adam Hudson 5187. Yes, raw milk is the best. Most things we are told are bad for you are good for you. These stupid studies just secure more funding to say things are good or bad for us. What a con job. I agree with that. I agree with that, Adam Hudson. Great name. Sorry, you've been through an experience like that, Joodles. Did I miss what Joodles wrote? I think, we seem to be allowed to blame men, but we're never allowed to talk about the types of men. We're only allowed to narrow it down. We are allowed to, we're saying it's men are bad. Well done in remaining true to yourself as you are currently. I don't want to be afraid to say anything. I know, you women, you're so good. I don't think women are that good. I think men are that good. There are lots of bad women, and I've lived it. I've not been able to see, there's been times I've not been able to see my kids. I've not been able to have my kids sleep with me because the mother's mad at me. And she will deny that, but that's the truth. That's the truth. Oh, that's horrible tea. We should actually have milk in that tea. That's what I've read. There are bad men and women. Yes, there are. There are bad men and there are bad women. Yes, there are. Julian is here. Hello, Julian. It's now Julian XD6IZ. People equal. Yes, that's totally true. That is totally true. That women are bad and men are bad. And if you think that women aren't bad, you've never seen one of those reality TV shows where they have all the women on one island. That's where I get all my information from. Is basically that place. That place. I'm fed up, says Daz, with having to explain nuances in conversations. Some things are just obvious and don't need to be stated. They do. You need to say women are constantly being killed, and they're not constantly being killed. Okay, they're being killed less than men. Fewer men die than women. Okay? It's not on an equal basis, but men do kill women, and that's really bad. Men make women afraid, and that's bad. But you know what? If women didn't, it's bad. It's bad, Joe Sanders. I've calmed down and back in the room. Thank you, Joe. Lewis, I love you. I love you, Joe. No one is generalizing. I just don't like that women have always had a great time. I don't think that that's true. Everybody had a bad time in the Middle Ages. Everybody. And not all men have had a great time. That's true. And they're not having a great time now. At least women, it's a lot easier for a woman to have sex with a man than it is now. I mean, it's not easy for men to have sex. It's easy for me because I'm Lewis Schaffer, an internationally known celebrity, TV presenter, pundit from GB News. It's easy for me. So you're thinking all men have an easy time. And they don't. Everyone has a bad time, says Blackout. He's 20 years old. He knows what it is. No one has a good time. Even the rich and powerful bleed red. Yeah, everybody. Yes, people have a bad time. We got there in the end, Kermit. Okay. Finally what? What are we finaling about? I manage a large team of women in my work, I see you, says. Bullies and pernicious, most of them. Yeah, don't say who your name is because you'll be fired from your job. Yeah, women are horrible. Do you know who said that women are horrible? This is why you know it's true. Lewis Schaffer. He says that women are horrible. But Lewis Schaffer likes women. Lewis Schaffer had a wife. Had another wife, heartbroken by women. Lewis Schaffer will probably have another. I like women. And I think that they're horrible. Because there's a nuanced answer. Yeah, so you're trying to be calmer. Be calm. Everything's calm. Everything is calm. No one is saying women are automatically bad. Who are you saying this to? Was it Lewis Schaffer? Men and women are literally the opposites. They're not literally the opposites. That's the problem, Keith Bexley. We're not literally the opposites. There's so much similarity that it's so easy for me to be fooled when a man puts on a dress. Casa Grande, Simone, women's... No, that's not true. Philip, who is Philip? Philip doesn't like this conversation. Okay, I'm sorry. He doesn't like this conversation. Sounds like an interesting prospect. Blackadder. What sounds like an interesting prospect? I like women, says Mark Therosian. Some are on this chat are a bit meh, but on the whole, I like them. No, you're good. Women can be good. Women can be good. And they are good, but they're different than men. But the problem with women is they look so similar to men, you forget that they're not men. And women look at men and they think, oh, he's thinking what I'm thinking. You know. Anyway, so Philip, who is Philip? Lud, we know who Lud is. Women are the best. They're good fun. Women are really good fun. My Bella has just run off. I took her old collar off, and she knows I've just unpacked her latest one, a collar. A collar. Muwaha, muwaha, says local. Lewis. How are we similar to men, Joe asks. Well, how are you similar? Let's talk about this. We're in the same chat. We're all talking about the same thing, right? That's how we're similar, Joe. How is that not similar? That we're in the same chat, we're all talking as if we're all human beings. One of us maybe is not a human being. Maybe women are the humans and we men are not human. But we talk as if we both understand. It's like my wife used to talk to me, and then I realized, and I've only been red-pilled lately, I realized she's not saying the same thing that I'm saying. She used to say, I'm divorcing you. Now, when I heard I'm divorcing you, what did I think? I thought, oh my God, she's spoken to a lawyer and the papers have been filed. That's what I heard. And to a man, that's what most men would hear, I think. But not all men are the same, but they would hear that. What she was saying was, Lewis, unless you have more sex with me, I am divorcing you. Okay? Unless you get a job, I am divorcing you. Unless you take better care of the kids. She didn't say that, but I'm divorcing you. This is what she was saying. I didn't know she was saying that. Because it was a long sentence and she just cut off the ending. She didn't need to say an entire sentence. Did she think she needed to? How are men and women the same? How are men? I'm only going to read those statements. How are we the same and how are we different? Because I think men and women are so the same. She's Scottish, yeah. Julian comes in here. Buy the stream of coffee. That's great, Kermit. Buy the stream of coffee. How are men? I nearly bailed Joe because it's so boring. I'm blocking you for saying that. I'm blocking you for saying that. I'm actually blocking you for saying that. It makes me so angry. I'm blocking you for saying that. I'm blocking you for saying that. Here is the point. Here is the point, okay? I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to block you, Joodles, but I want to block you. I don't want anybody on this stream to say that. If you don't think it is, then you just leave. You just leave, Sam. You just leave. That's all I want you to do. Yes, yeah, I'm so angry. I'm really angry. Who wants to be told that? I don't want to be told that. Okay? I should block her. Should I block you, Joodles? Because that's the nastiest thing you can say to a person like me. Absolutely nasty. Do you want to be nasty? Be nasty. Be nasty. I've tried never to be nasty to you. Yeah. She's real. No, you don't have to say that to somebody. What do you do you think everybody here is super interesting to me? But do I say, oh, I think you're boring. I don't want you to be on this stream. No, no, no. It's totally wrong. Totally wrong. Maybe that's the problem. With that, I call that guy fat, and he says I can't be here with a man who calls me fat. Why am I so angry? It's not a debate. It's not a debate. I don't want to be told I'm leaving, and I don't want you to say this is so boring. I don't want to believe that. Do you want to hear that? Do I want to say to you, Joodles? I can't even say it as a joke. Yes. I don't want to block her, so I'm going to calm down. I'm going to think about whether I am. Everything that I discuss here, that we discuss, won't be interesting to every single person. It may not be interesting to most people. It may be calling something not interesting to you is like a nothing. It's an absolute nothingness, but it's just a bit of meanness, because there are so many things that are not nice, that we know. Okay, it's not interesting to you. Do you think I'm interested in everything that we're talking about? You know? Am I right? I think I'm right about this. I'd like an apology. Anyway, okay, let's move on from that. I've calmed down. I didn't block you. But I didn't block you. I didn't block you. Okay. Do you see the problem here? I am mentally imbalanced. So why do we, I'm needy. Why am I doing this every single day, twice a day, every day for 125 days? Why are you here? You're here for your own reason. Okay? I'm here for my reasons. You're here for your own reason. Okay? At no point did I call you boring, Lewis. You've just lost your head again and presumed what I was talking about. Well, you're saying that somebody else here is boring. Maybe that's right. Maybe I was wrong. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize to you, Joodles. Because I should say to you, what did you actually mean? Yes. Yeah, what did you mean? What did you mean? I hope you didn't mean that I'm boring or that this chat is boring, because you're saying if the chat is boring, you're saying that I'm boring. So what did you mean by this, Joodles? I apologize to you, Joodles, for getting all upset. I won't get upset until I hear your explanation of the whole thing. Lewis, have you ever been to a brothel? I don't know if I should say whether I have or not, because I don't believe you should be spending money in that way. I think we should work at being the best that we can be, and then women would love us. No, I want to hear what you meant by that. I want to listen to what you have. I don't want, I listen to what Joodles says a lot. Don't you notice that I listen to what Joodles says a lot? Okay? Joodles agreed with me, and it's just a big issue with us girls. Talking for me, by the way. Yeah, so you just say, Lewis, this is a really big issue. And maybe explain why it's a big issue. And then I could say, well, I know it's a big issue for you. And I know that's one of the ways that you know that men and women are different. It's a big issue for you. But it's not necessarily a big issue for me. And men see things differently than women see things. And that's what I was hoping we could discuss. What is the big difference between men and women? We are not the same. That's why there can never be equality. Because we're not the same. A lot of you are talking not about what I'm talking about here. Okay? There you go. Anyway, we've been going for an hour and a half already. Yeah, if you go to Discord, I think it's there, Adam Hudson. Okay. I've never seen a man who looks good in a pinafore dress. Yes, exactly right. It says, is Liz coming back this week? I don't know. I don't think she is. But she may. I don't know if she is. I've never thought anything discussed on here is boring. Not anything. Of course, there's been boring moments. There's been boring moments. The air temp in this flat is 26.5 degrees, and it's 42 degrees humidity, 42% humidity. I don't know if this thing works. I'll have to check this out. I don't want to have it. I guess I got mad at Joodles because I thought she was talking about me. I apologize to Joodles again. I think that's what I'm all, I'm very sensitive about. I'm sensitive about people leaving, about people saying that I'm boring. I mean, maybe maybe I saw Chinese Elvis today. Did you see the Nunhead stream, anybody? No, I'm mentally imbalanced? I think that I am. Maybe it's brain damage. But I'm trying my best to make this as good for me, because it's, in order for me to do it every single week, every single day, it's got to be interesting for me, and make it interesting for you. Gnome Hunter says, so have I, but some people are so fixated on certain issues that no matter how long the debate goes on, they won't change their mind. And that's what gets boring. Yeah, so it's not going to go on too long. So we're spending 10 minutes on this thing, or 15, or whatever it is. You just have to say, I disagree with you, Lewis. I think this is wrong. And you maybe write, I don't know what we can do. The man who streamed 15 plus extra hours plus long shows is saying he's mental. He's mentally wrong. No, very bloody headstrong. Yeah, I'm headstrong. I'm also headstrong. I don't mind if you call me headstrong, but, All right, so we're going to end the show right now. We should end it on a loving moment, because I love you, and I love Joodles too. I don't know, here is the thing about Joodles. Not just Joodles, we call it challenge these days. I'm challenged. Is that I've yelled at her because I thought she was yelling at me. And this is the difference between men and women, is you can't yell around women or at women. But men, you can. That's the difference. Margaret Thatcher and Lenny Bruce were both born 100 years ago today. Well, God bless Lenny Bruce, who's amazing. Was he a comedian? I don't know if he's a comedian. He might have been a comedian, but he was a guy who was totally trying to say the total truth, but he picked on some wrong people. It wasn't his business to pick on the Catholic Church and to question what Catholics were doing to each other. You can pick on what the Catholic Church is doing to you. Okay, so this has been a brilliant show. I thought this has been one of our best shows. We're an hour and a half in or more. We've got 44 people watching. Can everybody go and like the stream if you like it? It's important. It's free. Can you subscribe if you haven't subscribed? Because it's free. Can you go to the Discord thing after the show is over? Vat and I, thank you very much. John Miller, Joodles, I forgive you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Gnome Hunter, who I don't know who Gnome Hunter is now, local in Northampton, who I don't know who it is. Vat and I, who I know who it is. Adam Hudson. They just changed the names. Maybe it's like a conspiracy. Daz, who I know, and Lud, who I know. FM Ghost, who is now called another kind of ghost. Thank you, Mark the Rosian. Okay. FM Ghost is okay. Maltese Phil, Joodles. Buy me a cup of coffee if you can, if you want to. Maybe you don't want to, because I got upset because someone used the term for other members as boring. let's not call each other boring. Let's just find out what we're thinking. Why am I lecturing you like I know what I'm doing? Joe, thank you, Joe. Julian, MC Scott, can you all go? Lucy, who's killing these men? Women can kill men too, but men kill also men. That's an old reference from 15 minutes ago. I see you. Thank you for being here, Ian Higgs. Thank you. We're gonna be on at 10 o'clock, 10:30 tonight. But you please check to make sure if we're gonna be on, because I may not be on. I don't know. Now I'm exhausted from this whole business. Ron Smith. I've lost control of the people here because I don't know who you are, because the names have changed. So thank you for pointing that out. Has anybody gone recently to the stream, to the thumbs up? Because it looks like nobody's. We now have 30 thumbs up, 45 people watching. That's brilliant. 45 people watching. 45 people. Okay. We'll see you later. We'll see you on Discord. Everybody go to Discord. Buy a coffee. Patreon. PayPal. If you can. Kerry, good to see you, Kerry. Have I forgotten anybody? I don't like the name changing thing either. I don't know what's happened with the name changing thing. We should all, Simone, thank you for coming in. Make sure, maybe we should all say, it's Gnome Hunter. I used to be this. I used to be that. Okay, I love you. All right, goodbye. Everybody, I'm going to stay on this thing for another minute, and then I'm going to say goodbye. This was a great show, best show ever. Didn't end well, but at least in my mind, but it was brilliant.